So 5 major fires are still burning in Southern California, 4 in the Los Angeles area and 1 near the Mexico border. More small fires are threatening neighborhoods around the area. Our next guest lives in Santa Clarita, just north of L.A., where the nearby Hughes fire has burned through 10,000 acres plus. Mark Viniello joins us now. Mark, what's the situation with your home?
We're in no danger at the moment. While we are in LA County and the Hughes fire is LA County, it's a couple of exits north of us on the 5 freeway. I can see the smoke from my mailbox, but we're in no immediate danger. And I think they're starting to get a foothold and get it under control.
Yeah, but as you know, those things can change in the blink of an eye. People who thought they were safe, earlier, all of a sudden the winds changed direction a little bit and they had to scamper out of their homes.
Yeah, that is always a concern. Another concern is just how these fires even start, let alone from the smoke. I mean, these fires seem to be starting in little pockets all over the place, and it's a little confusing as to actually what's happening. There's theories, obviously, and I don't know specifically, but that's another concern is just people starting fires, unfortunately.
You actually documented some of what's going on here. You were on a flight coming into Los Angeles, and you were able to look out your window, point your camera outside, and show people what's going on. Tell us about that experience.
So we were delayed coming from back east over the holidays, and we understood that there was, some high winds, so they had to divert us from landing into Bob Hope Airport to LAX. And, we had heard about the fires, and, the flight attendant got on the speaker and said, "Hey, if you look out your right window, you can see the fires." And I thought, "Oh, I'll give it a look." And I was speechless immediately because, you hear something, and then when you get a visual, I couldn't believe how huge it was and how fast it seemed to be spreading.
What's your assessment of the way that state and local officials have handled the fire situation?
I know there's a lot of frustration. I have a lot of friends and colleagues that are very frustrated with how things seem to have been handled. And it usually seems, and not just California, but a lot of times solutions are reactive instead of preemptive. I mean, I've lived here for 30 years and I've lived through earthquakes, fires, and there've been some bad ones. This one is a really bad one. And I don't know, given the conditions, if there's anything that could have been done to stop this, but maybe if there were some upgrades into certain facilities, it could have helped mitigate some of the damage. I don't really know, but I know there is a lot of frustration.
Yeah. President Trump was at that news conference with Karen Bass and other local leaders, and they really got into it. He was saying that it's time to let the people get in there and clean up the debris and start the rebuilding process. Here's part of that exchange.
We're concerned right now over the weekend because of the potential rain, but we are going to move as fast as we can, but we want you to be safe, and we want you to be back in your homes immediately.
But the people are willing to clean out their own debris. It doesn't cost a lot.
Yes, and they can.
You should let them do it, because by the time you hire contractors, it's going to be 2 years.
If a family...
The people are willing to get a dumpster and do it themselves and clean it out.
And they can.
There's not that much left. It's all incinerated.
It's got to be frustrating, just the scope of the damage and the number of contractors and cleanup crews and everything else that have to be hired to get some of these neighborhoods rebuilt.
It's going to take years, and not just the cleanup efforts, but even if you talk to anybody in that area, just trying to apply for a permit to get something built is not very efficient at all. So I know that the governor has signed some legislation, I believe, to expedite the process. But it is, again, that is another concern, is that even just getting it cleaned out and getting it rebuilt is going to take a lot of time. It's going to be years.
And again, as the president said earlier in the hour, a number of the big insurance companies actually pulled out, just revoked insurance policies well before these fires began, because they thought they were looking at a dangerous powder keg ready to blow. And unfortunately, that's what happened. Mark Viniello, we appreciate you. Go ahead.
It is, and I don't know the whole ins and outs. I mean, I'm not in the insurance business, but my understanding is that notes were sent to, you have to do X, Y, and Z to make this insurable, and that work wasn't done, and they're like, we're out, we're done. So I don't know how much of that is true, but that's what I've heard.
Yeah, we appreciate your time tonight. Hope you stay
Thank
safe.
you.
Mark Viniello, thanks.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.